This week on the show, Richard Kind, Langston Kerman, Amanda Lehr, plus me, Dave Hill. It's the Novelizers.
Don't want your popcorn, don't want your milk duds, don't want my shoes stuck in pools of sticky cola. Don't show me romance, don't show me fist fights, just show me words printed out under the book lights. Yeah, baby, novelize the movie. Give me sentences, paragraphs, nothing to see. Novelize the movie. Write a book and turn it into a podcast.
This is the Novelizers.
Hey, Dave. How are you doing?
Really great. Thanks so much for asking, Stephen.
What are you doing? What's up with you these days?
I'm glad you asked. Right now, I'm desperately in need of a shower, but I've been on tour with Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers lately. I just got back a few days ago from the Murray Brothers Caddyshack charity golf tournament where, yes, I played golf despite not being a golfer. It went really great. And what else? My new comic book, the first issue of my new comic book, Dark Regards, comes out very soon, May 14th on Oni Press. So everyone's pretty much legally obligated to buy it. And other than that, I've been hanging out with my dog and eating cheese. I don't give her much of it, but just enough.
I read you're not supposed to give your dog too much cheese, but then we had to give our dog a pill, and cheese is really the only answer for that.
Yeah, it's true. You know, the dogs, they love cheese, but yeah, if you give them too much, you've got a real situation on your hands and sometimes your feet if you're not watching where you're walking.
I just realized you've been playing golf with Bill Murray, and it's the cheese dog thing that I picked, that I chose to follow up on. Probably not the most exciting portion of that.
No, I think dog-related conversations are the most important in my medical opinion. But yeah, I did. I mean, technically, I didn't golf with Bill Murray, even though I strictly said I better be in Bill's foursome out there on the course. But no, I golfed while he was golfing, and I had my own group of guys from Delaware that I golfed with, and I had a delightful time. And the thing about golf, as best I can tell, no one is very good at it.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a golfer, and despite, occasionally hitting the just directly into the ground with the club by accident, I feel like to the average viewer, and despite I wasn't wearing golf clothes or golf cleats or any of that while golfing, you would be like, I don't know, he seems like a golfer to me.
I saw a few photos on Instagram. You look like a golfer.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a hockey player, and my brother keeps saying it's your hockey skills that got you through. I don't know if that's true, but I'll take it.
I am astounded by our show today. It's such a good one.
It enrages me how good it is.
Tell us why, Dave.
Right out of the gate, Richard Kind, one of the all-time comedy greats and a delightful human being. I've had the pleasure of sharing the stage with him and being at parties with him, and just he's a delight. And also pretty much seems exactly like his characters. Like, I think every time you see him in something, you're like, that's pretty much, in my experience, what he's like, which is to say amazing.
Yeah.
He's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm 7 million times. He plays, Larry's cousin, American Dad, Only Murders in the Building, the movie Inside Out. You can see him in Netflix's Everybody's Live with John Mulaney. In addition to about 700 other things. He's amazing.
He's in everything and great every time.
Oh, he's the king. We've also got Langston Kerman. He's an LA-based stand-up actor and writer. His special Bad Poetry, directed and produced by John Mulaney, was released by Netflix in August. Not too shabby. Comedy culture critic Jason Zinnemann of the New York Times calls it a terrific debut hour. I wish Jason Zinnemann would write about me once in a while, damn it, Jason. Anyway, and the New Yorker deemed his exciting new Netflix special a saving grace. The New Yorker did write about me recently, so I'm not going to yell at them. Anyway, Langston can currently be seen recurring in the new FX series, English Teacher. I would like to be on that show. Can you hear my bitterness, Stephen? Amanda Lehr, we've also got her. She's written for The New Yorker, McSweeney's, and Roxane Gay's The Audacity. She co-runs the Auto Network with Ian Goldstein on Substack. which is amazing.
Fabulous lineup. And this is, of course, I forgot to tell you, Dave, this is the show where we take classic movies and we turn them into audiobooks narrated by celebrities like Richard Kind.
Oh, yeah. It's the best.
And this is the season we're novelizing Dirty Dancing.
Which is great for everybody.
Great for everyone. It's sexy. It's dramatic. It's got Patrick Swayze.
Oh, yeah. Easy on the eyes.
Might be the perfect movie.
Yeah, basically.
That's a great show, Dave. How can I support it?
I'm glad you asked, Stephen. You can support the Novelizers on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/the Novelizers. Is that right?
Probably. Just search for the Novelizers on Patreon.
Search for the Novelizers on Patreon. It'll come up. Trust me. I have the internet.
And for everyone who's donated since last month, thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
Is it just Josh?
I don't know. I made that up, but it might just be Josh.
Yes, thank you to everyone.
Cool. And now where are we in Dirty Dancing? We're deep in the movie now at episode 9 of our podcast. What's happening?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you asked, Stephen. Where are we in the story? Baby and Johnny ride back to Kellerman's after their dance number, but Penny's having some problems after her procedure. And Baby, of course, must come to the rescue, as always.
Good old Baby.
Richard Kind, novelize me.
A wise man once said there are 2 ways to guarantee you'll never sleep well for the rest of your life. Number 1, get an MD. Number 2, have daughters. Take it from me. I got both. Before all the mishegas, it had been a perfectly quiet evening, too. Girls were out, so Marge and I enjoyed, having the house to ourselves. Then we turned in early and fell asleep to the cricket song. I could get used to this, I thought. Maybe I shouldn't wait 6 years before our next vacation. I'd only gotten about 12 of my 40 winks when someone starts shaking me awake. Daddy! I opened my eyes, and there's my youngest bending over me. Baby? She's got a full face of makeup and these big rhinestone earrings on. Did Marge buy those? Because they don't suit her. They look like my late mother's brooches. But the expression on her face is what gets me. It's pure kid. Like when she was 5 and begged me to check for a monster under her bed. That woke me right up. Baby, what is it? Is it Lisa? It's always Lisa. She shakes her head. It's my friend Penny. Now this throws me. Penny? The dancing girl? Daddy, she's hurt real bad. What, did she fall or something? No, but she's bleeding a lot. Next to me, Marge starts to stir, so Baby zips it. She interlaces her fingers, stretches her arms out in front of her waist like she's carrying something. A watermelon? Baby, you know I'm not good at Then it hits me like a ton of bricks, fertile, unprotected bricks. Oh. I leap out of bed and start pulling on my loafers. Get me my medical bag, now. Next thing I know, I'm chasing my kid through the woods in the dark, trying not to blow out my knees on those Lincoln log steps. And the loafers were a mistake. If I'd known we were going for a midnight run, I'd have skipped the links yesterday. Of course, the Kellerman's employee cabins are in the hills, way up in the hills, and no, they don't look like white elephants, not a damn bit. So while I'm huffing and puffing behind Baby, she's talking like a mile a minute, and tell you the truth, I'm having trouble following. It's something about her filling in for Penny at a dance performance, which, first of all, what? I know for a fact Baby inherited both my left feet. Next, she's riding home in a car with glass all over the backseat. Now, mind you, she won't tell me who's driving, so that's going to be a conversation. And before you can say some kind of wonderful, she gets to Penny's to find her all carved up. I start taking 2 steps at a time. When we get to the cabin, this red-headed kid, Billy, he lets us in. The room is full of scared-looking young people crowding the beds, so I have to push through them even to see the girl, Penny. You could tell she tried to clean herself up, which breaks my heart a little. Skirt's a mess. Sheets are slick with blood. She's sweating and shaking with fever. I mean, they took this girl to the worst kind of butcher. Someone I wouldn't trust to cut my pastrami, let alone my... Well, you know. Oh, the poor girl. Doubt the putz even washed his hands. Speaking of putzes, don't even get me started on the guy with her. I recognized him from the dance floor at Kellerman's. You know the guy, the greaser. One who dresses like a geriatric jet who missed the rumble. What's his name, Jackie? Francisco? Anyway, this mook's sponging her forehead like he's Florence Nightingale and not the schmuck who knocked her up because he couldn't keep it in those tight pants of his. I got no patience for men like that, not a shred. Please, don't get me started. In hindsight, it seems inevitable that something like this would happen. Sure, it's all foxtrots and congas on the main floor, but you hear stories about how these kids dance when they're alone. Close. Too close. They're not leaving room for Hashem, if you catch my meaning. I examine the girl. Penny's teeth are chattering, but the bleeding is starting to staunch. When I palpitate her abdomen, she moans. I know, dear. Can you take a deep breath for me? Yeah, that's good. Okay. We're going to take care of you. Penny nods. She's squeezing my hand like a vice, poor girl. But she's putting on a brave face. Braver than her deadbeat dance partner, who now looks about ready to spew. What's that they say about Ginger Rogers? She did everything that Fred Astaire did, but backwards and in high heels? Ain't that the truth? Doc, please, is she... Mr. Rentawalt sounds like he's schwitzing as bad as she is. I turn around to give him the what for and almost choke when I see Baby. My baby, clinging to this meathead's bicep. And he's not batting an eye. Suddenly, I got a sinking feeling I know whose car she was in. Frances Eleanor Hausman. Tell me you didn't. All right, look, I got bigger fish to fry. But can you blame me? She's a month away from starting at Mount Holyoke, for Pete's sake. I mean, call me naive, but I thought we dodged this bullet, and now I find out she's playing backseat bingo with a grown man who's shooting live ammo with the safety off. Oh, this is such a Lisa move. Daddy? I can barely look her in the eyes. Honey, I'm doing my best to stabilize her here, but I'm a general practitioner. Who do you think I got in this bag, an OR suite? Well, I'm not Mary Poppins, baby. Yeah, she's teary again, and I can tell she thinks I'm mad about the $250, which I am. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not about the procedure. I'm not one to judge what a girl does when she gets in trouble. Hell, back in the day, Marge and I talked about it, when we thought we couldn't handle another Lisa. But I digress. The point is, it's the woman's business. But as a professional, all I'm saying is this was not a $250 level of service. More like $20 and a pack of smokes. What's really killing me here is that I raised Baby to have good judgment. And the baby I know wouldn't hand over her friend and a wad of cash to any clown with a folding table. And she sure as heck wouldn't go anywhere with the kind of man who'd sweep a girl off her feet, then drop her off in some back alley. I don't give a damn how good he plies. Come on, Jake, come on, just put it together, okay? You got a patient here. I turn back to Penny, and I try to be Dr. Hausman. Penny, were you given anything before the procedure? No ether? And she grimaces, she shakes her head. Clearly, this guy was running a Tylenol and lollipops type of operation. Now, stay with me now, honey. I'm going to give you something for the pain. Penny nods. She's got a death grip on the sheets, but she's hanging in there. Brave girl. She deserves better. I take a syringe from my medical bag. I start preparing the injection. As if the peanut gallery wasn't vocal enough. Now, Billy's back, and boy, he's got questions. Doc, what's the needle for? Where's it going to go? Is she going to die? I sigh. Billy, I need you to do a very special job for me. Anything, Doc. Go stand on the porch. In fact, everyone, go stand on the porch. I get a little uneasy watching Baby walk out with cut-rate Elvis the pelvis, but surely nothing puts the kibosh on a necking session like watching your old man patch up his other girlfriend's botched abortion. I cannot imagine any hanky-panky following that. Now it's just me and Penny. I think everything's going to be all right, but you know what they say. Hope for a miracle, but don't count on it. She's still taking deep breaths. What now, Dr. H? I swab her arm, and I give her the injection. Soon we're going to fade to black, and when you wake up, you're going to feel right as rain. It's an old trick I learned in medical school. She nods, but while I'm applying the bandage, she reaches out and puts a hand on my wrist. Dr. Hausman? Yes, dear. Do you think it's always going to feel like this? You see, this is the question that keeps me up at night. I think about Penny and the man with the rusty knife, and burning monks and men trapped in a mine shaft, and those police dogs being used in Birmingham, and I think about the world that Baby and Lisa are going to inherit. And I think about who my kids are. My girl who's going to change the world. My girl who's going to decorate it. No, Penny. No, honey, I don't think so. I'm telling her the truth, too. You know, these days, it seems like we can't trust anything to stay the same. Or anyone. Well, anyone but that footloose, feckless dime dance dunce out there on the porch. And the way he's sniffing around my daughter, he's nothing but consistent. Penny murmurs something I don't quite catch. You can tell the medicine's kicking in. She won't remember any of this tomorrow, but for some reason, I keep talking. I'm no oracle, Penny, but what I do know is that you'll wake up tomorrow and feel better than you do right now. Past that, well, we'll just keep muddling through. Penny's got her eyes closed. Maybe it's just me, but her face looks a little softer now. And we fade to black. When the lights come back on, Penny's doing much better. Works like a charm. Never quite understood why, but I'm glad it does, and she's sleeping soundly as I pack my bag. Out on the porch, Billy pumps my hand like he's appointing me mayor of Fix-It Town. Well, no thank you. Of course, Jimmy Bungalow, or whatever his name is, takes his philandering mitts off my daughter, long enough to go in for a handshake, too. Well, not on your life, son. I step in between them. All I can hope for is, after tonight, he's scared enough to stick to his harem of perimenopausal housewives. But, well, by this point, the adrenaline's wearing off, and I want nothing more than to crawl back into bed. But even as I grab Baby's arm to go, I realize I need to say my piece. Folks, I hope we all learned a valuable lesson tonight. And all the kids look at me like they're deer in the headlights. Oh, God help me. You're young. You have your whole lives ahead of you. You'd be foolish to throw that away. I open my doctor's bag, hold it out, give it a shake. Now, everyone, take some prophylactics.
We'll be back right after this.
Surprise bill? Need fast funds? CashNet USA can help. When you need money fast, be the hero.
Apply in minutes at cashnetusa.com and get a fast decision. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times.
Lowe's helps refresh your garden in time for Mother's Day. Right now, get 5 bags of 1.5 cubic foot Scott's Naturescapes mulch for just $10. Plus, select 1.5 gallon annuals hanging baskets make the perfect gift. Now 2 for only $15. The best garden starts with great deals. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/7. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase.
And we're back. Each week on the show, we interview someone who worked on the film Dirty Dancing. Let's hear that interview.
Thank you for joining us for another interview portion of the Novelizers. I'm Kevin Carter, and I'm here with Randy Caramel, who was the nasty, you heard it, nasty consultant for the movie Dirty Dancing. Randy, how's it going today?
It's Randall. I'm
My
Randall.
apologies.
Thank you. Randall Caramel, nasty consultant for the stars.
All right. Let's get right into it. What is a nasty consultant? Like what did you do on set, please?
What didn't I do is probably a more apt question.
All right.
You obviously watch films. You consume media. Very often in those television shows, those movies that you're consuming, there are nasty things happening. People make love. People lay with one another, and none of that happens without someone like me.
But I mean, if I'm just being honest here, we don't think of those things as nasty. Like what makes sleeping with somebody nasty?
If you ain't nasty, you ain't doing it right. That's what I always say. Listen, the way it works on a television set, these people, they write their scripts and they presume that sex is going to happen or the implied sex is going to take place, but it takes someone like me to really bring it to life, to make the things that you say are not so nasty into the nasty things that we celebrate in media.
Okay. So can you give me an example of something you turned into and you put it into the nasty category? Like, can you give me an example of something you've done?
Well, if we're talking about Dirty Dancing, the first 4 minutes of that film is just people thrusting into each other, just right up top, just right over the credits. You see men grabbing women's necks and grinding deep into their pelvises. That wasn't gonna happen. They was just gonna list names of grips and key art specialists. They had no plan.
Yeah.
But old Randall comes in, and I say, "Hey, make that big man put his hands on that little lady. Let's see what happens."
All right.
And they took it. They ran with it.
Okay. So do you think that you are providing the dirty in Dirty Dancing, or is dirty and nasty two different things?
That movie would have just been Dancing without me.
It would just be called Dancing.
It'd have been Dancing starring Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to see that. You know what I mean? Patrick, he's a great dancer.
Yeah.
But don't nobody want to see him if he ain't being a little nasty. And that's where Randall comes in.
Yeah, I appreciate you, because I can truly see if he was just dancing out there, it would not have made the box office smash that it is now. You are greatly appreciated for what you do.
You want to see Patrick Swayze do the waltz? That's a different film.
Yeah, it is. It's a completely different film. It's a completely different Patrick Swayze, if I'm being honest. His career may not take off.
Hey, you want to be horned up when you're watching Patrick Swayze. And I'll be honest, Patrick Swayze, he kept me around. We did a lot of projects together because of the influence that I had in Dirty Dancing.
So when it comes to Patrick Swayze keeping you around and everything like that, I get the sense that, on camera, because of you, he's dirty, he's nasty, he's doing his thing, whatever, right? But off camera, he feels like just a nice person. Has he ever taken your position, your profession, to the personal level? Like, hey, can you help me in this area as well? Or has it always been a professional thing?
He was a consummate professional. I want to pay due respect to him, but I think he could have used a little more nasty in his personal life. I think it would have served him well to be a little nastier, and I told him that, and it made for some tough conversations. I'll say that Patrick wasn't always the most receptive to me being like, "Hey, stop reading the newspaper there. Read something a little nastier. Let's read some erotica, Patrick Swayze." And he'd say, "Randall, please, I'm on my break. Just stop." But I wasn't trying to hear that.
You weren't trying to hear that.
No.
What got you into this profession? This seems like a very a niche, like a very specific thing somebody would do. Like, but what got you into this?
It's a deep passion I've always had to be nasty. I was a nasty boy. I grew into a nasty man, and I've been blessed, to be honest with you, to have mentors who helped me understand that nasty can be more than just a lifestyle. It can be a purpose. It can guide the people around us to see themselves, to feel something more. That's what the movie is all about, Dirty Dancing.
It's about feeling something more.
I think so. I know so. Matter of fact, baby, she comes in, she's scared.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel anything. She thinks her purpose is environmentalism.
Yeah.
That bullshit that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then she sees Patrick Swayze press his tight little bell-bottom pants up inside that lady's dress, and she goes, "I think I want to feel whatever that is." And she forgets all about the environment by the end of the film. She ain't thinking about saving the oceans or the whales after that.
Yeah. So is your idea of nasty, is it just from a sexual standpoint, or is there a full like umbrella of nasty that covers a lot of different areas?
That's a fine question. I'll tell you this: anything can be nasty if you imagine it. You know, there's a Christian way to eat a waffle, and then there's a nasty way to eat a waffle, and that's where I specialize. Is taking the Lord out of that waffle. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
putting some a little grotesque
Yeah.
around the crunch of that Eggo.
Yeah, I've done. I've had my share of nastiness. It's not necessarily with a waffle, but just with the toppings that would be on a waffle. You know, butter, syrup.
Tell me a little bit more.
It started with a girl. She was very adventurous.
Okay.
You know, and I was shy. I was a dancing. I was a Patrick Swayze waltzing situation. And she introduced me to some things. And like I said, one of them was a syrup, chocolate syrup, some whipped cream.
Okay.
You know, and we had the little chocolate morsels.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that because it looked like hamster poop. So I was like, let's not do that because that is confusing. But the other things, you know what I'm saying? And it was scary. I must admit, it was scary. I don't know if Patrick was scared at first when he tried the things you were doing, but I was scared because I'm like, where does it end? You know, once I open this door, am I never getting out? You know,
it's one of the things that I think people take for granted most in the work that I do. Being nasty ain't easy, and being nasty ain't for the weak. Yeah. And there's a lot of folks who will tell you, "Oh, I'll eat you out. Oh, I'll lay this part on that part, and we'll grind on each other. That's fine." But that ain't always nasty. Some of that is just the animal inside of us, sexuality. What we're talking about, these morsels, these syrups, these whipped creams you're mentioning. This is taking it a step further, and you don't get to put that back. Do you know what I mean? The whipped cream don't go back up in the canister once it comes out. You got to live with that.
Yeah. I was no longer allowed to put it in the cabinet either.
That's right.
You know, so it was once I took it out the cabinet, it never went back.
That whipped cream has seen too much, and it can't go back in the cabinet. What you gonna put it next to your pineapples? It's gonna taint everything.
Everything's tainted at that point. I agree. You spoke of mentors.
That's right.
You spoke of people mentoring you and everything like that. Can you give me like something they told you that really stuck with you from a mentor perspective, like that really changed your life?
You know, as a young man, I admit I was a fine, kind, church going boy. That was who I was. I attended church twice a week, Bible study on Wednesdays. I believed in the teachings of the Lord. I wanted to be the type of person who found one special woman and only made love to that person forever and always. And then a kind man in an alley near the church spoke to me. And he said, "You, young man, where you heading?" I said, "I'm going to Bible study." And he said, "Man, fuck all that. Let me show you some videos that I've been working on." And those videos really illuminated a lot for me. They really showed me some of the potential that wasn't being addressed in my Bible study work.
Yeah. Touching story. As I listen to it, just as a regular listener,
that's right.
It doesn't give me mentor vibes. It gives me like just overall creepy. But your experience is your experience, right?
And brother, agree to disagree.
Yep,
I think
perfectly fine.
I think mentorship can take on many forms, and I think creepy is a word for cowards and people who are not yet ready to face the raw underbelly of what the human experience is.
Yeah. So this mentor person, was he like dressed nice?
It was nice is such a weighted word. It was a weird combination, I would say, of what we would call quote unquote nice. There was certainly a business on top energy and a little bit of a shenanigans on the bottom sort of vibe coming on the other end. So it's nice. No, I wouldn't describe it as nice, but I would describe it as essential to the work that he exposed me to.
I appreciate that. It feels like he was dressed like a mullet. You know, he was dressed how you would appreciate a mullet. You know what I'm saying? Business
That's right.
front, party in the back. So I can see that. I can see that.
You ever seen a man with blazers and with a blazer and cargo shorts?
Yes, actually I have. There's a lot of people in my neighborhood that wears that for some reason, and it's cold outside, but that's what they wear.
And I'll tell you this, I bet they got something important they could tell you if you listen.
They definitely probably do. I agree with that. I agree with
You're
that.
gonna want next time
never
you
get
see
a
him,
chance.
You're gonna want to stop and talk because there might be something life changing inside them cargo shorts. Check them pockets. Check them pockets.
Yeah, I'll definitely, the next person I see wearing that, I will ask them about something nasty and just see what happens. You know, because everybody got gyms. You know, everybody got gyms.
Everybody's got gyms, and I don't know, man. I can only go off the man who guided me, and I never got his name. We met many times, but I never asked him what his name was, and he never offered it to me. But I will say that maybe there's other people out there who are not as well versed in the nasty, but maybe they're well versed in other shenanigans that you might need to learn about. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one last question for you. When it comes to this nasty business,
that's right.
Let's say someone wants to get involved and like someone wants to get into this business like you and wants to work their way up like you've done and become successful. What advice would you give them when it comes to that?
Now, the unfortunate reality that we're facing is that the landscape of nasty is changing. The current media will have you believe that nasty, that if we live in this perverse country that's putting nasty at the forefront of every television show you watch, every book you read. Nasty is everywhere. But the unfortunate reality is that my jobs like mine are disappearing every day. We are being replaced by nasty robots. We are being replaced by nasty artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is telling you where it wants to stick its tongue and how it wants to hold your toes. It's all too much. So what I would say to anybody aspiring towards this opportunity of being a nasty consultant is you really got to focus. You want to get in school. You want to talk. You want to really talk to people who have gone through the business and understand how to connect with real stars like a Patrick Swayze to help you get your foot in the nasty door.
That is beautiful, and that's a nice way to end this. Mr. Kerman, I want to thank you for a great interview and for teaching me. You know what I'm saying? Teaching me. I got some whipped cream in the cabinet right now. I'm about to go have some fun, you know, because of you, sir.
That's all I ask. I pray that every person I interact with thinks about how they can use a little bit more whipped cream in their day and a little more in their life.
Amen. Amen. I'm Kevin Carter with the Randall Caramel, and this is the Novelizers. Thank you.
That's it. Another incredible episode of the Novelizers. You're welcome. Special thanks to Richard Kind, Langston Kerman, and Amanda Lehr, and to Brett Morris, who recorded Richard Kind. Couldn't have done it without you, Brett, if you're listening, which I can only assume you are. Join us next week for the world premiere of our cover song of the song Dirty Dancing is known for, of course, I've Had the Time of My Life. Sorry, I can't help myself.
The Novelizers is hosted by Dave Hill with Stephen Levinson and produced by Stephen, Cole Emhoff, Graham Douglas, Kevin Carter, Christine Bullen, Dennis DeClaudio, and Rob Kuttner, and distributed by Cincinnati Public Radio. Mixed and edited by Graham Douglas. Music by Cole Emhoff. Art direction by Crystal Dennis. Theme song written by Andrew Lynn and performed by Nick Testa. Follow the Novelizers on Threads, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and support us on Patreon. The Novelizers is an unauthorized work of parody. Copyright 2025, Novelizers, LLC. Take us out, Dave Hill.
There was a baby put in the corner. There was a guy who could give your mama a boner. He taught her dancing, it took a minute, and she flew into his arms just like an egret. Novelize that movie, write a book, and also read it to me.